Hello my dear friends, welcome to another video. In this quick video I'm going to show you how to make a Node.js bot which creates a random file every in a duration, for example every minute or every 5 minutes. Today I'm going to show you how to make this such kind of bot, so you're gonna get idea and maybe make different things. First of all, let's create a folder. I call it Node.js Bot 1. I open the Visual Studio Code and drag and drop my folder into it. Let's open the terminal, new terminal. Make sure you're inside the project folder. So because we're gonna use Node, we have to initiate it. So just write npm init for initiate, press enter. This will initiate the Node.js for us. It asks for the package name. I call it maybe bot1. It asks me for the I can't write the capital. Bot1 version 1. Description is this is a test, a demo bot. Point, my point is app.js, which is a file we write our code into it. Test comment. I don't keyword, maybe demo bot author my name. Lessons, just press enter and click and write yes, and there you go. Now you have a package file. This is your package.json. Okay, once you have completed this, now let's create a file. I call it app.js, and in here I'm gonna write my code. So the idea is, I want to create an app which creates a random number, and we save that random number into a file. Each time a separate file will be generated after a period of time. For example, every 10 seconds I make a new file with a new number. So let's do it. How you can do that? First of all, you have to include a library which is called fs or file system. So how you can do that? Just write fs equal to require and just say fs. This is how we import the fs library into our application. Once you have done that, now it's time to create a file. So for that I make a function. I call it create file. This is the function. This will create a file for us, but before making the file itself we have to generate some random numbers. So how we can do that? I make a variable, call it r, and this is equal to mat.random, and I times this one to something like this, and this will generate me a random number, r for random. Let's console this one. Let's see how it works or not. And we have to run this function, so just copy this function, write it here, and open your terminal. Make sure you are inside this project folder and just type Node, your application name, which is app.js, and press enter. And there we go. We have a random number, but as you can see this has a float, so we have to remove the float. So I use another function which is called mat.floor and put everything inside this. Now you're gonna have a number without decimal points, okay? And there you go. Every time I run the program it generates a new number for me. So we have our random number. Let's remove this one. Now it is time to create a message which will be inside our file. So I make another variable, I call it message, and this is equal to, for example, hello, and I want to add this random number to it. That's it. Now how I can generate a file with this random number as a name and also this message inside it. Let's console this one first so you can have an idea of the message. This is the message. Every time such a message will be written inside that file with a random name, which is this number. Okay, anytime a different number will be generated. Okay, let's comment this one. Now what I'm gonna do is to create that file. So to do that, I also need to generate the file name. We have a random number, we have the message, but we don't have the file name. So I make another variable, I call it file name, which is equal to, the file name could be like maybe something like this, the message, and I want to add an extension to my file. This file could be a .txt, a .json, or whatever you can create it. Now once we did that, we use this fs library, which is the file system of the Node.js. How you can use it, just write fs dot, after that write file, use this function and open the parentheses. The first thing you have to write is the path where your file should be written. So in this case I want to write my file inside my directory. If you want to do that, just put your file name, but I want to put my file path and file name inside a folder, so I create a file, I call it files, and in here I just say files slash inside. It means inside the folder of files, create me a file with this message name and sorry, not the message, the R, a random number .json, and this file is this folder. Okay, and inside this function all we need to do is to write this file name. After that is our data, which is our message, so just type your message, which is this one. After that the other thing you need to do is to, before the callback, you also define the file format. In this case it is a UTF-8, and after that we have a callback function, I can call it success, and we have to create this function. So I create a function. You can also use an arrow function, but in this case I make this function. It means whenever the file is created, it will run this function. Okay, I can console log file has been created. Okay, let's run it and let's see if it works or not. And there you go, we got the message, file has been created, and inside the files we have this file with a random number as a name .json, and inside this one we have this message hello with the random number. If I run the program once again, there we go, we have another file with a random name, and inside this one we have this hello with that random number. As much we do, we create more and more files, but that's not all, because like I said, this is a bot and it should create a file every minute or 10 seconds or whatever you want. So how you can do that? That's very actually easy. We use set interval, and inside the set interval write your function. What it does, it will run your function after each moment of time. There is your millisecond, 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. If you want it for a minute, just times this one to 16. This will run every 1 minute. If you want to run it for hour, you can time this one to 16 and it will run every 1 hour. And just like that. But in this case I want to run it every 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds it will run my create file function, and that will create a new file every 3 seconds. Let's save this one and let me run my program, node app.js, and let's wait. And here we go, we have a new file, and we have another new file, and we now have another new file. Every 3 seconds it will generate as a new file again and again, and this is a bot. This is really simple tutorial, so you can get an idea how a bot works. In the next tutorials I'm gonna make a real bot which does maybe like a Twitter bot or Facebook bot. Just let me know in the comments what bot we're gonna make. Thanks for the watching. If you learned something from this video, make sure to press the subscribe button and share with your friends. Have a great time, my dear friends.